For 6 years they danced together, every morning and night, as the 2 screaming babies turned into troublesome toddlers, before growing into girls the same age as Mai had been when her stepmother first arrived. But when a child's piercing scream broke the dawn silence, Mai laid down her wooden practice sword and dashed into the house, certain Lin or Lei had been seriously hurt. She found a manservant holding down Lei, while Jing did something to the girl's feet that only made her howl louder. Jing shouted for bandages, which a maid handed to her. Jing wrapped the strips of silk around her daughter's feet before cramming them into a pair of shoes that even Mai knew were too small for her. Lin watched with wide eyes until the manservant let go of her sister and seized her instead. Then Lin started to cry and struggle, begging her mother not to hurt her. Jing grabbed the girl's shoulders. "Do you want to be a lady and find a good husband, or be doomed to be an old maid like your sister Mai?" "I don't need a husband," Mai protested. "I promised my mother I would take care of father, always." "There! Do you want to be a drudge all your life, or a lady who is carried everywhere in a litter?" Jing pressed. Lin stopped struggling. "I want to be a lady and a bride to a handsome husband, just like in the stories," she whispered. She climbed up beside the still sobbing Lei, and Mai watched in horror as Jing broke her daughter's toes, bent them beneath the soles of her feet, and bound the whole mess up in silk bandages. Now Mai understood why the 2 small shoes suddenly fit Lei again, for Lin's shoes slid on over the bandages, as if she were years younger. "There," Jing said, planting her hands on her hips. "Now, you must walk around the garden 10 times before you may have breakfast. Go, go!" She shooed the girls off the bed. Both of them cried out as they took their first steps, begging their mother to let them sit down again, for their feet hurt too much to walk. "Ladies must have lotus feet like mine, or no husband will have you," Jing said. "You will walk, no matter how much it hurts, or you will not eat. Do you hear me?" Both girls nodded. Holding hands, they hobbled outside. Mai folded her arms across her chest. "How can you do such a thing to your own daughters? It is barbaric!" When Jing turned to face her, Mai was surprised to see tears streaming down her stepmother's face. "I do what must be done to give my girls a future. A little pain now is nothing compared to a lifetime of being unwanted. My mother spared me until my feet had almost grown too big, and I was lucky to get a husband at all. If not for the Emperor's command and your father's ignorance of court fashions, I would not have been married, for no other nobleman would have me. My daughters will have such tiny feet that even princes will marvel at them." Mai drew herself up. "You will not do such a thing to me. If you try to touch my feet, I will make you rue the day you were born." She wasn't sure how, but she had heard a great hero in one of her father's stories say such a thing, so it must mean something very frightening. Jing sighed, looked as haggard as though it was her own toes that had been broken today, and not her daughter's. "No, I will not," she agreed. "You are too old, and your feet are too big. I should have bound your feet when I first came, but by pregnancy and the girls, I could not. You will never find a good husband now, Mai, not with feet as big as yours. Just like your common-born mother." "My mother was not common. She was a general's daughter, like me, and her feet were perfectly sized to suit my father," Mai snapped. Jing marched to the cupboard and took down a pair of shoes Mai recognized as her mother's favorite. Beside them, Jing placed a pair of her own. "Times have changed since your mother was a girl. Perhaps she could make a good marriage with feet like this. But we have a new emperor now, and in his court they would call her an iron lotus, fit only to marry a field hand." Mai stared at her mother's red silk shoes before Jing's tiny striped slippers. "My mother's shoes were magical. She wore those the night my father fell in love with her," she said, "and she kept them. She said the ancestors had blessed them with balance in all things, so that when she wore them, her balance was perfect, too." Jing shook her head. "You don't understand, do you? It doesn't matter how well a girl dances anymore. It is all about the size of her feet. You will never marry." She thrust the shoes at Mai. "Take these huge things away. Treasure them if you must, as a memory of times that will never come again. No amount of magic in your mother's shoes will make you marriageable. When you pray to the ancestors, pray that I bear your father a son. For with no husband, you will have no children to take care of you in your old age."